Good morning, everyone. My name is Chris from Two Headed Wolf Gaming, and welcome back to Battle Brothers, our Two Headed Wolf Band series. Thank you very much for sticking around, especially after where I left off in the last episode. I realized while editing the last episode and listening to it, that I really cut it at a weird point. Now, as I was playing and leveling up some of our characters, when I saw the clock that it was at the 34-minute mark, I got a little bit panicked, and so I wanted to put a cut as quickly as possible. One of our characters we didn't really manage to talk about. But what I want to say is, thank you very much for supporting and for sticking around with the series. Like, I'm still new to this YouTube and talking to myself in a room and talking about the games that I quite enjoy playing, and I'm working on getting better at it. And I really appreciate the feedback that I have received so far. Like, even the few thoughts that I have received by this point were really encouraging, and I thank you guys for that. And if you do have feedback for me, if you have ideas about how to do certain things better in a game, do leave it in the comments below or do write me a message, and I'm going to do my best to read and respond to you and start a conversation, because I'm really curious about how you guys play these games. Without further ado, let's get back into the game. So we were about to level up Karsten over here. If we take a look at him, we definitely want him to be a melee warrior, even though he can't really fight greenskins since he's afraid of them. We're gonna put points into melee attack and melee defense, and we are going to increase his resolve by 2 points. I'm also going to give him this recover, which will reduce the fatigue we've accumulated throughout the battle. And we're gonna need it at some point, not early on, but sometime in the middle game, we definitely will make use of this skill. So let's pick it early on while it's still there. As far as other characters go, I took a look at Hilmar over here, and I wanted to do something. I thought about it a few episodes ago, and I remembered at the beginning of this one, so I want to do it now before I forget. For Hilmar, I do want to rename him, and I'm gonna call him Mephisto Dark. And this is the name that my brother used to use. I don't know if he does anymore, but he used to use them inside the games, like when we shared the computer. So, if you are watching, this is for you, dude. I do hope that you stay alive for the entire game. I'm gonna do my best. Let's see, what next? Well, that is about it for now. We've finished a quest here in Donnerstedt. We have the ambition to get friendly relation with a civilian faction. So from what I remember, we did a few quests over here and our relationship is open, so we might want to start going toward Elkshorn to the south. If we take a look at the relations with the factions we have, we've actually managed to get friendly relation with Donnerstedt by doing 2 quests for them, by bringing a caravan or protecting a caravan and getting the town rid of Naxxerers. I'm gonna work on that. So that means that pretty soon we will get a message that we've finished this task. So let's start moving to some of the other towns in the area and see what they have available. There is a town up here to the north. We've never been to this place. We're just gonna check it out. Towns don't usually have quests for you early on in the game. If you don't have the reputation for taking on harder tasks, and you don't have the people, you definitely will not receive the task. But let's check it out, see what we have available. So over here, we do have a marketplace. We sell the signet at not that great of a price, so I'm not gonna sell it. For weapons, what I'm going to do is take this hatchet, or maybe this warfork, The Warfork can be pretty good. So what I bought the Warfork. I want to do this. Since Mephisto Dark has a good range skill, like we're gonna get extra points from range skill, and we are going to get extra points in melee skill, but he's not that great at melee defense. I am going to put him in the back line, give him this Warfork, and I do believe that this will reach it has a range of 2 tiles, so he can sit in the second line and actually attack enemies in the front line. Another thing that I will do is take the crossbow off Wildrich, give it to Mephisto Dark, and put the Warfork in his inventory. So what we will do is shoot the crossbow when people are at range, and when they actually get to our front line, we're going to change it to a Warfork, and this way we can have a good advantage of both. We can keep him as a bit of a double role. We will need a bow and we do have one here, but we do not have arrows. We will need a bow for Wildrich and arrow. For the moment I'm just gonna give him an axe until we get something else. Until we get arrows, that's what I wanted to say. We have 23 food left, we're consuming 18 provisions a day, so we do need more food. Let's buy some grains, let's buy some goat cheese, it's a little bit on the expensive side, but it will have to do. Over here we have a building called the kennel. Kennels, you can buy dogs. Like, dogs are units that you release using your characters, and they're pretty good at running after enemies, and they can really get you out of a tight spot. They are not too strong, so you can lose dogs left and right, unfortunately. But they are mostly expendable units, if we can say that. They do not level up, they're just mostly used to break someone morale or distract them. I'm not gonna buy a dog at the moment, we do not have the money. Let's move on to Havelberg and see if they have a quest for us. So we're here in Havelberg. They do have a Fletcher. Fletchers, as you can imagine, have all kinds of bows and crossbows, and they do have arrows, which actually we can use on Wildrich to give him back his range capabilities. In the future we might want to give them 2 quiver of arrows, since they're gonna shoot a lot, and not at the moment. They have a barber. Barbers you can just use to customize your troops. Temples help you heal different wounds, like they help patch up certain wounds and make them heal faster. As far as men go, there's none that we really want right now. A merchant, a peddler could be good. How many people we have? We have 3, 5, 8. I would definitely want to bring one more person in. Killer on the run, I don't really want him. Let's bring the peddler. We might get some good events out of these people having different kinds of backgrounds that it might be also fun to discover. So I'm just gonna make this party, maybe this run, it's gonna be one where maybe it's a type of game or gameplay that you've never seen before. I'm not playing with the best strategy in mind. I'm just exploring the world, hiring some people, trying to get to know them if they survive for long enough, and do our best to keep this band alive for as long as possible. Maybe in future let's play of this game we will really focus on trying to do the best with the mechanics, for now, know that this is what I have in mind, that we're just gonna have some fun and do our best with what we might think it's the best choice. We have a few tools, like these are pretty expensive. However, for the moment, it might be a good idea to sell the jewels, even though they didn't have the best price, and buy some tools, as we might need it in order to repair some of these weapons and armors. We do have bandages as well. Bandages can stop bleeding. And I'm going to add it to one of our characters. I'm gonna add it on one of our archers. Not this. Just so we can have someone who can patch up the people around them if we do get to that point. Bleeding out, as I said in the first episode, can kill your people. Let's see quests. As far as quests go, we do have someone over here who's paying us 320 crowns to find the Cave of the Dead. You know what? I'll need to think about it. Let's see what the other quests. Undead at this point of the game can be pretty rough. I'm not sure I'm gonna go for that quest, especially if they have a necromancer which can resurrect zombies and give them some buffs. It's not a good idea to go for them. You will pay 380 gold for following the tracks near Havelberg and return the lockbox to him. Let's do this. We have a chance to follow these tracks. As you can see, these tracks are larger, so we know that these are the quest tracks, rather than the smaller ones, which are just random NPCs, as they say. Along the way, while the company takes a short rest, you sit down to examine the wound where an arrow punctured your side not long ago. It's been healing slowly and still aches if you move too quickly, but things are getting better. Edward joins you, seizing this opportunity to talk to his captain. So the way I see it, nobody knows about the two-headed wolf band yet. We don't want to hunt a ragtag band of brigands through the woods forever, but we'll have to make a name for ourselves first as reliable swords of fire that can get things done before the noble houses take notice. They'll want to use the company for far better paying tasks, I'm sure. So just to keep in mind, he's telling us that we need to become more influential and build a better reputation in order to get more quests from the noblemen, which are more difficult, but the payoff is bigger also. An ambition has been fulfilled. Deciding that Donnerstead is a good place to invest your efforts, you decide to offer the protection of the company and take up any work suitable to your talents. You act like a gentleman in your dealings with the locals and encourage the men to mind their manners while in the settlement. There was of course some gripping at first. Erwin was sorely disappointed to give up brawling with the farmers, especially with the two-headed wolf band spending so much time in Donnerstead. But you convinced the man that having a friendly base of operation is important in your line of work, as it meant getting better prices on the market and more people willing to join your motley band. It's also much less tiring not having to dodge the militia all the time. You even enlisted the man to do some small task in exchange for nothing but goodwill. I found that little brat who wandered off and dragged him right home, Mephisto Dark brags, quickly outvied by Randolph. I went to the market for the old spinster, split her firewood for winter, and even put out her washing, but I draw the line at rescuing treat cats. By becoming friendly with Donnerstead, we fulfilled this ambition. We've gained some company renown, giving us better contracts from now on, and we've also gained some morale. People are in good spirits. Let's continue. We will receive in the near future a few more ambitions to choose from. We have thieves over here, many brigand thugs. It's good they're not the toughest kind of enemies, so it's gonna be useful for the moment. It's nighttime. I'm looking for dusk before we attack them. Let's see when it becomes that. Okay, it's dawn. So let us attack. Since at dawn we do have the visibility to shoot with our archers and not get any penalties for it being dark. Since we do have ranged weapons, they will be forced to come to us. If they don't, we move a step forward. I am going to make all of our troops wait. And yes, they did move forward. Since he moved forward, I'm gonna move a step forward and try to attack. Some of his men don't have shields, as you can see, which makes it the perfect opportunity for us to shoot them with our arrows. For Mephisto Dark, he doesn't have any ammunition. I forgot to put ammunition for him. Well, I shouldn't have done that. I didn't know that moving it like this is going to consume our action points. Unfortunately, I guess we'll have to sit for one turn. I am going to move this character forward by one step and put him in spear wall, put Gustav in spear wall. Our X-Men, I'll keep him in the spot right here. And for our archers, let's start shooting some of these people, trying to get them out of the game before they even have a chance to attack. We've managed to kill his pikeman, would you call them? His farmer with the fork and the other thug that was nearby. We can now shoot a bolt. I know we had the bolt already in the crossbow. I don't know, I worried too much by the no ammunition sign. We've missed. I am going to change, as you can see. Now we can put the warg fork on him and on the next turn march in front and attack. Let's keep the X-Men in position. We're doing quite a number on these thugs. I've put our swordsman in repose. That means that every time we will get attacked, we have a chance to respond to them. And I'm going to take an attack on the brigand on top. He's fleeing now. We broke his morale. We're gonna keep applying pressure on these thugs. Reiner got hit and his helmet broke. We're gonna use the archers to shoot even though he has his shield up. Let's try to stun. We didn't manage to do so. I'm gonna move the spearman closer to them just so we can attack. We're trying to surround them to the best of our abilities. This brigand thug has his morale broken as well. Let's move one step with Mephisto Dark and take a shot on this particular character. And we broke his morale now. Let's try to break him as well. That's it. We got really lucky on this battle, or at least that's how I feel. And it will help us get a few more weapons and armors and experience, especially. That's mostly what we're missing for this early game. Let's run them down. That's it. Edward and Wildrich the Falcon level up, also Erwin over here. We've gained a pitchfork, a spear, some helmets, a few things. It's not gonna get us rich, but it's progress. So for Erwin has good melee defense, has a star in defense, has some stars in hit points and fatigue, max fatigue. I am going to add melee defense, melee attack. and some points into resolve, bringing him up. For him, I am going to give recover. For Edward, he's now at level 3. This means that we said, I think, let's rename Edward. We say that he's gonna be our what? Our tank. Edward the tank. Edward the bodybuilder. Bodybuilder. Let's put it so we'll know that we make him our tank. Because we can put some points. We're going to definitely add a point in melee defense at this moment. We're gonna give him some points here in resolve and some in max fatigue. I'm probably going to go with him with that role in mind. It might not play to the best of our abilities, but we shall see. The level 2 skills, we have Executioner, which inflicts 20% more damage on people who already have for enemies who've sustained injuries. It can work pretty well with crippling strikes. Bullseye, this is for archers, I'm not gonna go over it now. Dodge, you gain 15% of the character's current initiative as a bonus to melee and range defense. This works better for archers. Fortified Mind, he will become stronger as far as resolve goes, tougher, basically more courageous. Resilient, all the status effects like poison and bleeding are reduced by 1 turn. Steel Brow is really a good ability to have. Basically, when you have Steel Brow, all the hits that are directly to your head won't cause critical damage anymore, which is really good. Quick Hands is good for swapping any items for free. Like when we did the exchange of arrows, those will become free. Gifted will provide us with one more level up like this, but we do miss out on the talent. So if we add this, maybe at some point towards the end of a character build, adding 3 extra points to melee skills or 3 extra points to melee defense, if the role goes that way, can be really useful in this game. Do not underestimate how much 1 point of melee skill can determine a battle, because the rolls, sometimes the rolls depart on only 1 point. So think about that, keep that in mind. I am going to add Steel Brow since we don't have many helmets that are too strong. For Reiner over here, he had a 30... 30 durability, that's what I want to say, 30 durability helmet. I'm gonna exchange it to him with this 40 durability that we've received. This club is not working too well for us from what I saw. I am going to give him maybe an axe, something that works better against armor. At this point of the game, I think maybe give him a spear, it's going to be more useful. For Wildrich, we're going to add ranged skill, range defense, and a little bit more resolve. We're almost done with him. I'm gonna give him now Bullseye, which reduces the penalty when there's no clear line of fire from 75 to 50%. So that's really good for them. It increases the chances that we are going to manage a hit. Let's put, for Mephisto Dark, let's put the Quiver of Bolts this time, so that he has them ready and at hand. And we're going to move back to Havelberg. We have a camp of slave takers to the south of us. There are a few barbarian thralls, a few barbarian reavers, and a few warhounds. This can be an opportunity. It can be. Now I am really trying to. I'm trying to think whether the risk is worth the reward. You know, I don't really want to save time. I don't feel prepared. I'm not gonna take the risk right now. We're gonna do a few more quests if we get a chance, and then come back to this place. At the moment, I do not feel confident with the troops that we have available. We might actually lose our man. We got paid. This contract is still available. I am not gonna take it. I'm not gonna fight the zombies right at the second. Let's sell some of the gear that we do not need. The wooden flail we keep. It can be pretty useful for enemies that have shields. There is an attack that ignores the shield. That could come in handy. I'll sell the pitchfork right now. I'll sell the wooden stick. I don't think we will use it. And let's continue. Let's go back to the north side. During camp, you feel good today, ready to lead the two-headed wolf band through any challenge to come. You gather the men around, kicking Erwin to his feet and telling Karsten to finish scraping away the hairs on his neck later. When their muttering has subsided, you start to address them. What do you tell the man the company will do? So, for our next goal, we need a battle standard so that we're recognized from afar. Having one be made is costly, so we shall gather 2000 coins for this. Wild beasts beset villages on the fringes of civilization. Hunting them down for profit is what we shall be doing. Let us seek fame and fortune fighting before crowds that chant our names. We'll draw blood in the arenas to the south. There are a lot of crowns to be made with trading between towns. Let's earn us a fortune. This is new. This is part of the latest expansion with the Blazing Desert. It's going to be fun to go for the arena. Maybe we should start. I think we shall start marching south. Try to see what's new in the game. Or we can go for wild beasts, beset villages. Let's go for battle standard. Let's have us a proud battle standard that we can use. Like, you will see that it can also be used as a weapon and a way to keep our morale up. Now, looking at the time, I believe that this might be a good point to put a cut into this episode, and then we will come back with the next one, as we are going to march south, do a few more quests in the area, and if we actually feel like it, let's just keep marching till we get to the desert and see what's new. Since we're trying things out, since we're not pushing for the best way to beat the game, let's enjoy the experience. So if you have any feedback for me, please leave it down in the comments. If you like what I'm doing and what I'm working on, do leave a like, do subscribe to the channel. It does help me grow, it helps me understand what you want to see, and basically it gives me a better direction for the future. I thank you very much for watching, and I wish you a wonderful day.